technology goes back to the 1930s. John Mohr does more with this airplane than any other man or woman in the world. Whenever John's on the show and the other pilots are not flying, they will watch this man and say, I don't know how he does it. Across the top, now he's going to take us in to a maneuver that was invented by accident in 1936 in Place Miami, Florida. An aerobatic competition when he was the pilot. He was going to do a loop like this and come all the way around. He saw that he was too low and couldn't crash, so here's what he did. He broke off that loop, did a 45-degree line, hit it. When he got out of the ground, Len Colby said, what in the world was that? Never seen it before. Jimmy Doolittle said that to Len Colby. Len said, well, that's a Cuban 8, because at that time, Len Colby was the chief aerobatic instructor for the Cuban Air Force, and we have continued to name that maneuver the Cuban 8 from that day to this. Then into the first maneuver that was invented, the big inside or barnstormer's loop. Then into a repositioning barrel. John and his wife Lynn, they have children, and the kids come over and they have a meal. And after the meal, there's a little dessert like a cake or a pie. And you know you got to be equal on when you divide that pie. So John's going to slice that pie up so that everybody gets an equal slice. He's going to stop the airplane. Degrees, and we call that the 4-point hesitation roll. As he likes to play with bridges, a third-generation pilot. His grandfather was a barnstormer. His grandfather and father, in fact, ran a seaplane base in Minnesota, taking hunters and fishermen into the wild. Now more people show up. That pie has to be cut in 80 exact slices. So every 45 degrees, here is John Mohr's 8-point hesitation roll. 6, 7, 1 more is number 8. Now, you know when you play, when you see sports on TV, and there's a particularly good game, whether it's the Cardinals or a football game, they slow it down, they put it into slow motion. Well, John's going to do one of the most difficult maneuvers in his repertoire. He's going to just barely roll the airplane. We call this the slow roll. Just barely. Barely moving, and we call that maneuver the gotcha. Oh, yeah. The engine doesn't run upside down for very long. That's the reason the engine quit. All right, now there's another variation to that maneuver you saw, the figure 8 in the sky. The first one was the real and original Cuban 8. This one is a variation. It's called the reverse Cuban 8. What John is going to do, instead of diving to do that 5/8 of a loop, he's going to climb to start. He'll do it at about a 60-degree angle in relation to the horizon. He'll roll the airplane in a 2-point hesitation roll upside down. He'll fight for the last few feet of altitude. Then he'll curve the airplane around to finish that loop, or 5/8 up. On the left side. So here goes the angle we talked about. Stop there, John. Then stop upside down, push the stick forward, get a little light in the seat. Now bring it back around, and you're going to have to do that again. With the light breeze we have today, still pulling together, we're going to get that figure 8 in the sky as it goes north over the river. 2 points again, fighting for that last bit of altitude. A nice round arc to make his way right back into its smoke. Big round of applause for John Mohr. This is the square root on the loop with corners. It gets exciting right here as he goes straight from the river. Now we'll get a little lesson in aerodynamics. There is a maneuver that all of the airshow pilots do. It's generally a repositioning maneuver. In the U.S. we call it a hammerhead turn. Over in the United Kingdom they call it the vertical reverse. As John comes back in, I want you to look back at that striped rudder. See it's red and white? You see it way back? He'll go vertical. He'll roll the airplane. Now look at that striped rudder. It's going to go all the way to our left. And he does the swivel, and that, a little right aileron, is the way you do the hammerhead turn. All right, we have seen a variation of many loops. We have seen the cuminate, the round loop, the square loop, the reverse cuminate. This time, John is going to come in and draw in the sky for you something that we have to live with day in and day out. It is the stop sign, the 80 silent sign. He'll hold the airplane once, twice, 3 times on an angle, 4 times in the inverted flight position, number 5, 6 bring down, 1 more angle, and then flat across the bottom, right over the river. John says, stop, or you may get in trouble. All right, now, at this point in time, John's going to roll the airplane around. He's going to go up for a little bit of insurance, and that insurance is called altitude. He's going to go for a target altitude of 1,000 feet. Now, when you see all the professional airshow pilots do that, you know you are in for the spectacular. John Mohr, a recipient of the Bill Barber Award for Showmanship, given to one team or one individual only one time a year. He is also the recipient of the Art Show Memorial Showmanship Award. That too given to only one airshow team or one pilot one time a year. And just a few weeks ago, April 30th, Minneapolis-St. Paul area, this young man was inducted into the Minnesota Aviation Hall of Fame. The youngest, if not one of the youngest ever to be inducted, who is still living with us on the earth. John. Usually you have to be deceased or 80 before you get in there. During the week, this man is an airline captain with a major airline flying the trips to Hawaii. So here's the double flip for his angel and wife, Lynn. We call that the Lynn spin. Now he's going to dive the aircraft down, pick up a little bit of speed, quarter roll the airplane up, and it will back up in the sky. Off will go the power.
That's a stall, baby. That's a freaking stall right there.
And now into the maneuver that many thought was deadly and never recoverable from. The spin. It was Eddie Stinson that first learned, don't pull back on the yoke of the stick as the earth comes up to meet you. Push forward, give in, get the wings flying, and you will have control again. Prior to that time, it was a dangerous maneuver to get into. All right, you live in the Midwest in the fall. Trees, the oak trees and the maple trees start to change color, and the leaves come off the trees and gently sashay to the ground. There's a maneuver in an airplane called the falling leaf. Watch John manipulate the control stick, the rudder pedals, and the gale as he simulates that maple leaf. Down.
Wow.
Here comes the power with Mr. John Mohr. Give him a big round of applause, if you will. Now, you know, when we were kids, we all showed off. Early, we showed off for our moms. And look, Ma, look what I'm doing. Look at me hanging from the trapeze. Look at me jumping up and down. Look at me, look at me. Well, John hasn't lost that youthful enthusiasm. This is called the Look Ma, No Hands. He's going to be flying upside down. And you'll see his arm or arms come out of the cockpit. He is a tall, lean guy. He just with the wave upside down, a little wing waggle salute. Oh, and the gotcha for the folks that didn't get the first one. Power comes back in as fuel is entered back into the carburetor. Now I told you he grew up with his grandfather and father running a seaplane base. He is a seaplane pilot. He's got a big twin seaplane he takes around the world. He's not afraid of the water. And occasionally he likes to do some fishing. And he said, let me drop a line in off my left wing and see if I can't catch something on the river. Maybe snag a little snack for dinner as he, that's cool. As he pushes the wingtip to the ground. Now, if you didn't quite get that one, he's going to play with that bridge one more time. Make his way around. He may have seen that there was something out there that was going after his lure. There are a lot of logfish and twigfish and limbfish out there, so you got to make sure that wing is enough off the water so you don't get a little bit of fun with your river on the 4th of July. All right, John, heading back to the airport. Most of our flyers are positioned from what we call the downtown airport. But the enemy